Hi, I'm Amanda Bertelli with Eastwood Realty Group. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video talking about the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission's listing agreement. If you're seeing this video, I assume you've decided to sell your home with us, and myself or one of our in-house realtors has sent you this form through an authentic-sign process or some kind of e-sign, and we want to make sure that you're educated about the forms you're signing. First, you're going to see the disclosure to a seller or a buyer of the brokerage duties. Every time you do a listing agreement or anything else with us, whether accepting an offer, you are going to get a written list of our duties to treat you fairly and honestly, not discriminate, and let you know if we're providing fewer services to one party or the other. The next form I'd like to go over is the estimated net to seller. It will show you what type of loan the buyer is using, what you would walk away with an estimate at the end of the day, the property address, the sales price, the taxes, the commission split, the estimated closing date. Unless obviously it's a listing agreement, then it's going to be just the listing agreement date. Closing fees, abstracting and certification, doc stamps at the courthouse, as well as your mortgage payoff. At the bottom of this, you will find your estimated net to seller. The next form is the residential property condition disclosure. Please answer these to the best of your knowledge. They're fairly easy to understand. They're just a little long. They're about 4 pages, but it's nothing too hard. Whether or not you're occupying the property. It gets into really the mechanical of the home. Is there a sprinkler system working, not working, do not know. None, not included. So as you can see, there's an option for everything. If you go a little further, it's going to start talking about things like the flood status of the property. Do you pay for flood insurance? Do you have tornado, hail damage, insurance claims where you didn't use that money to do the repairs, French drains? Are you aware of anything that would be dangerous? Please answer these to the best of your knowledge. Not all of us are going to know exactly how old our roof is, but we have a pretty good idea in how many layers there are. Also, did you do anything without permits? Have you had termites in the past that were treated for? Things along those lines. It's going to go all the way into HOA fees. It's all right here, private utilities. So we usually bring these to the listing agreement and like to go through them with you to make sure that you can answer them as the best you can. The next one is the property disclosure exemption form. So not if you're the landlord or maybe you're just not sure. This is absolutely for you have never been in this home. Maybe you inherited it from a family member. You've never seen it. You've never been in it. You have no knowledge of this home. You would sign the exemption form. The next one is the lead-based paint disclosure. Any home that was built before 1978, we will have to go through this form. And it basically just says whether or not you have knowledge of lead-based paint or reports. And just so you're familiar, it does look like this. It's 1 page. It's super easy. This will also be on the MLS with the other disclosures, and the buyer will sign those when they send their offer. So they're very important. The next one is the actual listing agreement. And it looks like this. The residential agreement's pretty straightforward. It goes over our duties again, the term of the contract, the listing price, the legal description. It is right here. So there's your legal, what the sale of a property is, what's considered a non-removable fixture from the home, the listing price, the term of the contract. It will go into treating all parties fairly, disclosing things in a timely manner. In the state of Oklahoma, we are allowed to work with both parties, the buyer and the seller. Our compensation will be right here under number 8. It will also talk about when our commission is earned. When we bring a ready, willing, and able buyer and we get to the closing table, it does come out of the proceeds. Our commission does, unless we have some kind of prior arrangement with you. It talks about the extension periods. If we have brought a buyer during the listing agreement and the very next day after it expires, they decide to buy it, there will be a period where they still are considered our buyer. Other fees that can go into earnest money, things like that. Disclosures required by seller. We just went over those. You have to tell us about defects. The terms, what a broker, a party, a transaction, and a firm are. Listing of the property, number 11. We are members of the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Association of Realtors. It's a big mouthful, but basically that is the MLS we are part of. We are members of the National Board of Realtors or the Association of Realtors. You'll hear us say OCMAR. That allows us to put this into the IDX system, into the MLS, which shows up on Realtors, Zillow, all of the big guys. That's how we get you spread to the masses, which is key to marketing. You authorize access to the home from us, whether we put out a lockbox or you give us a key, whatever arrangement we make. We do co-op in with other realtors at other firms. They do have to sign into a system with their license number, be a member to be able to gain access to that code and get permission from us or yourself. There's a way to also loop you into that process. We do use the combination boxes unless maybe there's a keypad on your front door you'd like to use. However, we decide to go about it together. Our authority, you do give us permission to put a for sale sign on the property, to make it ready and available for buyers, make it reasonable hours for us to show. And then this will kind of go back into what we do when we represent you, what a listing agent is, what a selling agent is, if this home is in a HOA, a mandatory association fee, if it's subject to a special assessment, if it's in a historical preservation district or a municipal district. We'll kind of break that down for you. Your additional promises to cooperate fully, to provide us with documents. If you have leases, rentals, service agreements, we have to have copies of that to be able to inform the buyer. Limitations of liabilities. We're not liable if the home is broken into, vacant, burglarized, burned, whatever. That is not our liability. That's your homeowner's insurance. You do understand that some buyers will ask for what you would probably hear called a home warranty. That's a residential service contract. You can elect to or not to buy one depending on what's happening with the negotiations at that time. The defaults, if for whatever reason, in all the homes I've ever sold, this has never happened, but if for some reason we decide we're not getting along, it does not go to court, it goes to mediation. The next thing is read this agreement in its entirety, understand it is a binding legal agreement. There are governing laws over it, the Real Estate Commission. If more than one person needs to sign, we need to have that done immediately. We are equal opportunity. We do not discriminate against anyone for selling their property for any reason at any time. So that is it. And you waive the right to receive subsequent written bona fide offers. Once you've accepted one, we can't go back and take more offers. So if you have any other questions regarding this form, please give us a call. I'd be glad to go over it with you. Ask your realtor if they're not available. We always are. It's 405-224-4298. And as always, make it a great day.